Today I'm going to take you through the full process of making a bouquet, from building the recipe, harvesting, arranging the bouquet, and then wrapping it. First step is making your recipe. You want to do this so that you know exactly what you need to harvest, exactly what's going to go in each bouquet. It helps prevent waste. It also helps you price things out a little bit better. Today we are doing $30 bouquets, which means we put about 25 stems in there, and this is going to be our recipe. 10 zinnias, 3 cosmos, 2 marigolds, 2 sunflowers, 2 gomphrena, 2 celosia, 2 basil, 1 eucalyptus, and 1 amaranth. So let's get to harvesting. We always get questions about what we put in our water when we go to harvest, and that is nothing. We just use fresh water and clean buckets. We have found that using flower food on zinnias actually makes them die faster. So just keep some clean, cool water and you're good to go. When you come out to harvest, you want to focus on getting the sturdiest, longest stems that you can find, and obviously the prettiest petals. So first off, with zinnias, you got to do the wiggle test, and that's to see if it's ready. As you can see, this one wiggling like crazy. This one right here, very sturdy. So this is the one we're gonna cut. We're gonna strip the leaves off the bottom half, and since these leaves are a lot shorter or a lot further down the stem, I'm gonna strip all of them off. Sometimes we will leave some leaves around the top if they're closer to the flower itself. It seems as though people are having issues with their basil wilting, and here are a couple of tips on that. First, you wanna cut them first thing in the morning when it's not too hot. Second, if they start to wilt, leave them in a bucket of water overnight, if not just for like a few hours. Sound went out, but my last 2 tips are you can dip the ends into boiling water, or your plants just might be too young and you need to wait till they are a little more mature. Now that we have all of our flowers harvested, I like to lay mine out assembly style. I feel like it just moves a little bit faster, but then also you're not fighting with your flowers to get them untangled, or at least not as much. You also want to take this time to check out your flowers and make sure there's no dead buds, and if there are, clip them off. I do tend to keep my zinnias in their bucket because it is easier to grab them out of the bucket than it is to grab them from the pot. This is what you're going to need to finish off your bouquets. Rubber bands to start. I don't think the size really matters, but I had a lot of people ask, and this is the ones we get from Amazon. Clippers to trim the bottom of your bouquets once they're finished. Large 24 by 24 craft paper, and a stapler to staple your craft paper. I always like to start off my bouquets with greenery and filler to make a nice full base to then stick in all of your pretty showy flowers. So we're starting with our 2 basil, our 1 eucalyptus, 2 gomphrena, and you do want to roughly keep like a V or an X shape, but you don't have to be too strict on that because it will eventually kind of shift as you build it. 2 celosia, I kind of like to think 1 in the back and 1 in the front. 3 cosmos, so 1 in the front, 1 in the back, pop 1 in the middle. Then we have 2 marigolds. So we've got 1 in the back, 1 in the front. Now that you have your base, we can now fill it with all of our showy flowers. First of which being my sunflowers. I like to put 1 in the center facing me, and then I like to put 1 right behind it, okay? So that they look just like that. They will shift, like I said, but that is always a good start. Now we're gonna add in our 10 zinnias, and since I got 4 different colors, we're going to try to put an even-ish amount of each of those colors in so all of them are cohesive. We have this pretty salmon color, this gorgeous lime or limelight, pretty pink traditional ones. And just remember, you can stick them in the middle of your bouquets if you think you need a little pop up here. Always look around to see where your gaps are. A lot of people asked why I did not strip all of the leaves off of my flowers. And as you can see, the ones down at the bottom are not going to have leaves, save the eucalyptus, but the eucalyptus doesn't really affect the state of the water, so we don't strip those. But we like to have a nice full wildflower meadow type vibe for our bouquets, so we do not strip every single leaf off of our flowers. Okay, now that you got all of your showy flowers in there, you want to adjust before you wrap her. So you can tug up anything that you feel like you want to show a little better or that's getting squished. Okay, I think she's looking pretty good. And then last but not least, we add our amaranth. And I usually like to add it right in the front so it just drapes over the side like that. We're going to cut all of the extra off. You don't have to go as short as your shortest stem, but you want to get close to it so that at least it gets in the water. As you can see, no leaves on the bottom except for the eucalyptus. Put your rubber band halfway, wrap it around, slide it back up the middle, and you have a secure bouquet. Now, you don't have to wrap it like this. This is just how we do it, and we find that it's easier and faster. We're gonna fold our craft paper fairly wide, almost like maybe cat ears, really wide mountains. Now, you don't have to do this step, but I like to cut a little slit up the middle so that I can fold it, and then it kind of helps your paper not get in the water quite as much, and then you fold it back like a collar. You want to put the front of your flower bouquet down first, and then you pick up the bottoms and wrap them tight around the base, just like that, and then staple it. Oops. And there you have it, just like that. Fold your collar up, place your bouquet front facing down, pull up your bottoms, staple, flipper, and sticker. The reason we wrap it like this is because you want a wide wrap to not squish your flowers, but also be tight at the bottoms. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial and I answered some of your questions. If you have any more, please leave them in the comments and I'll try to get back to you as best as I can, and happy arranging.